Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Claw and the King podcast. I am joined by my co-host, Oscar. Donning the Lakers outfit. He's got some Bulldogs trackies underneath. He's really
No, I don't.
sported up. Okay, he doesn't.
You got nothing on.
Please. That's a dream of mine. Anyway, a bit has happened in the sporting world since sort of we last spoke. We actually went to a sporting event yesterday together, holding hands. It was a great day. It was the British and Irish Lions versus the Wallabies. And the Wallabies got up, and a couple of people were surprised. But again, when you think back on it, you're like, okay, the Lions have probably been boozing all week. The Wallabies probably more motivated to win. And yeah, you see it in State of Origin all the time. We talk about State of Origin a lot. It's even the Queensland teams of old, I think only had like 1 or 2 3-0 sweeps in that sort of 8-year run. Just because it's hard mentally to sort of overcome the difference in mentalities. You work harder to not get swept rather than to sweep, if that makes sense. So yeah, look, the Wallabies played well. I thought the game was ref to death. It was so stop-start. The lightning didn't help in the middle, and it was just turned into a fucking concert. It was actually like Coldplay. We had to put the lights on. We were moving it around. Yeah, it wasn't ideal. And yeah, it was just so stop-start, like I said. But the Wallabies did get up. I thought they were more physical on the night. I think they were more secure with the ball. The Lions made a lot of mistakes in possession. And yeah, it wasn't ideal from a Lions perspective.
No, the Wallabies played well. You gotta respect how they showed up for Game 3, and they played well in Game 2 as well. They probably deserved to win that game.
Oh, there you go.
Well, they were the better team for the majority of the game. The Lions
were the better team for the entirety of the second half.
Well, yeah. Well, not the entirety. Probably the last entirety. 30, the last
and
30
the start
minutes.
of the first half as well. They were not the Wallabies had a flurry of points in a short space of time.
The Lions scored all their points in a short space of time.
In the second half.
Yeah.
That's 40 minutes. That's not a short.
No,
you scored all your points in 10 minutes.
It was like 20 minutes in the second half.
You scored all your points in literally 10 minutes. You scored back-to-back tries.
They were leading the majority of the game. Probably deserved to win. Obviously, the ref call at the end of that game has been talked about a lot. Obviously, it's a penalty.
It's just crazy. It's such craziness. This is Australian fans in a nutshell, right? And I'm obviously a bit controversial because I support England teams when I have somewhat of an Australian accent, and I've lived here for quite a while. But the difference, just to jump between sports, they're literally different opinions on cricket. For obviously the England-India incident, if you don't know, England wanted to end the game, and India played on. So Australian fans went after England for complaining, and then they're complaining themselves within their own national sport.
Well, yeah, but it's completely different context. It's complaining about different things.
Yeah, but it's like, no, but the argument against England is like, oh, they're such moaners, they're always complaining, and they literally just... But when
you get robbed, it's fair to complain.
It's not a robbery. It is not a robbery. If you play rugby, and I know both of us have, you know that happens 30 times a game. That is every They were so low to the ground. That is a clean out in any rugby game. And because the guy flopped and wanted to play for a penalty, it's like the... Well, that's
the issue with...
I'll tell you this. To put it to like NRL context, it's like someone fake it, like trying to get a crusher tackle on, like they're tied 20 all.
And 10 times out of 10 they get it.
But when he's trying to play for it and he's clearly exaggerating, no one's mad that the penalty wasn't given. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was such a flop that I think it actually hurt his case. If he just acted kind of like and had a bit of a play, like a bit of a theatric performance, then I think he would have probably got a penalty. But because it was so over the top and clearly playing for a penalty, it was criminal. And the refs were like, no, that's bullshit. They literally looked at it for 2 seconds and were like, no, stop trying to play for a penalty. This is the Lions tour. Stop trying to win off a penalty.
Anyway, well, yeah, that's obviously happened now. There's nothing we can do about it. But in terms of like the series itself, actually a very close series, which was probably not expected for most people, definitely not for me. I think the fact that the Wallabies won a game and were close in a game is a massive achievement. You call it a successful series. I mean, the Lions literally have 2 full-strength squads that should dominate the Wallabies, and they barely managed to win the series. So
no, I agree. I think it was a great series. It was a lot better than we sort of anticipated, especially after the first game. You're like, oh, this is going to be a rough one. But yeah, credit to Australia. They really stepped up in games 2 and 3. I thought the Will Skelton being in the team was a massive, massive impact. Was really the most dominant force out there across both of those games. And if Australia won the series, I would have picked him, even if he didn't play game 1, I would have still picked him as sort of the man of the series. Just because of how dominant he was, and just how much more physical they were. Like in the first game, it felt like, I don't know, it kind of felt like a men's team playing against an under-21s team. The physicality, Australia couldn't move unless they kicked it. It was very clear to see who was the experienced big side in comparison to the Wallabies. But yeah, Will Skelton brought that right back, and I feel like most of the Wallabies got behind him. So yeah, it was great to see a really good physical contest, and Australia won many of those battles, especially when, especially in the last game or yesterday's game when Atoje went off and the other second rower went off as well for the Lions, and it was basically it was a whitewash in terms of physicality. The Lions couldn't move anywhere. They lost many rucks were overturned. It was it was a bit bizarre. The lineouts, I think we lost like 4 lineouts in a row. Like we couldn't win a lineout. So yeah, fair play to Australia. Lions win in the end. With the player of the series, they gave it to Finn. It was like a mixed one. They gave it to Tardig. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Some Irish name. Don't quote me on it. And then Finn Russell as well, the number 10. I don't agree with that. Like, I thought they played well, but I thought Finn Russell didn't have great moments. I thought he was good, but like I thought he made a couple of mistakes here or there. And I thought Atoje was clearly, and maybe Tom Curry. Maybe that's my bias as an England fan, but Tom Curry, the flanker, as well as Atoje, I thought were unreal. Just the physicality they brought, the big plays as well. Tom Curry made some huge tackles in game 2 as well. Atoje's captaincy and leadership, I think, really was missed when he went off. But yeah, a successful tour, and that's what you want. Like you said, it would have been better if it was maybe a decider, just for the pure entertainment part of it. But the whole contest was great to watch.
Yeah, and very positive for Australian rugby. Obviously, it's been through a tough few years. Everyone's saying rugby's back, and look, the Super Rugby's obviously not back, but the Wallabies.
That's what we discussed.
Yeah, and like the Wallabies, if the Wallabies are playing well, the country, the nation of Australia gets behind them. That's how it's always been. And if they're good, the people come back, and this tour showed that. I mean, the
Wallabies have always been popular, and we had this discussion on the way home. I think it should be remolded, and look, it won't do because there is significant money invested in Super Rugby and stuff like that, and obviously it's more of a dream than anything. But it should be modelled like cricket. Wallabies, people in Australia care about the Wallabies. They don't give a toss about Super Rugby. So it should be like, you are a Wallabies player. The Wallabies should play more games, and fans would be more invested. And people would want to grow up playing for the Wallabies instead of playing for NRL clubs. I don't know. I just think it's great to have these occasions. Obviously, the Lions tour is every 12 years. That's not changed that. But have more big tests against England. Have more big tests against, I don't know, Ireland. Just make the Wallabies play more and make these players basically be full-time Wallabies players instead of part-time, and then you're contracted to Super Rugby teams. And like, does anyone want to see Sawali play for the Waratahs? Like, maybe a bit. Like, he can play the one-off game or like kind of how cricket works, where they might play a couple Sheffield Shield games if they want to get back into form, or they're out of the game. But yeah, I just think the Wallabies should be the main sort of attraction. And you can see it, 80,000 people, like fully sold out.
Yeah. But yeah, and then my counter argument to that was that the talent pool would shrink, because if you're reducing Super Rugby to a shoot shield sort of format, all of those players are just going to go play in the NRL. because they're going to get professional wages over there. So it's going to be hard to keep a talent pool of, 2,000 professional players or whatever it is.
I get that, but I think that you also get an opportunity. The problem, one of the major problems that people the players that have defected over to NRL that have said is basically we don't get an opportunity in Super Rugby till we're like 22, 23 to play first team. In NRL, you get 18, 19-year-olds, even 17-year-olds playing first grade and making big money. I mean, you've seen Lockie Galvin. He's probably on a shit ton of money now playing first team for number one team in the comp as a teenager. So I think that doesn't happen in Super Rugby. And I think what that would do, if you've got more of these elite players playing for the Wallabies more and not sort of playing for these Super Rugby teams, it makes these Super Rugby teams more inducive to sort of promote these young players. Instead of just keeping them in, the resis or uni rugby for their younger career, put them up straight away, give them a shot. And I think Australian rugby would be better for it because they'd get better competition. They'd play more. They'd play more first grade games. So, and they'd be further developed by the time they're ready to play for the Wallabies. So, look, I don't think it would ever happen because, like you said, it does cripple Super Rugby 100% in this country. But I don't know. I just watched yesterday and how, even though there were a lot of Lions people, it was kind of an away game, but there's still such, it's across the country. You can feel the impact that the Wallabies do have when it's a big thing.
Yeah,
and
if there was a Kangaroos test, for example, there's no way you would get a turnout like that or
no,
atmosphere like that.
No.
It just shows the thing where the NRL is so clear of Super Rugby, but the Wallabies and the International Union game is so clear of league and the Kangaroos.
You feel it in the Ashes as well. When it comes to December time and everybody is glued to the TV, and you see the MCG packed to the house for 5 days straight. You see the SCG packed to the house for 5 days straight in the boxing test and all this stuff. I just look at Australian classical sports like cricket and rugby, and I think the mould of them should be the same. And look, they can obviously this break. Did you have a look at we had this argument actually about this rugby union breakaway competition. Oscar thought it was rugby league breakaway. Did you have a look? Did you research?
No, I didn't.
So they can play in this rugby union breakaway as like their sort of competition, have 8 weeks where they can play it. And then come back to the Wallabies. I don't know. And treat it like the IPL, like how Australian cricketers treat the IPL or Big Bash or something like that. So, yeah, you watch it yesterday, you see how dead Super Rugby is, and you just kind of feel it's got to change. The Wallabies have got to play more tests. Did you find out it was rugby union instead of rugby league?
It's just saying Ryan Pappenhausen linked to Switch.
Yeah, Switch, yeah. Let's see. Was it R360?
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
I think you're getting confused.
Why would I would obviously assume it's a league when I'm hearing only league players linked to it.
Well, Louis Rees-Zammett's recently linked to it, who's just came back from the NFL, who was a former rugby union player. I think what you're getting confused by is ESPN and Americans, they don't know about rugby league. They kind of know about rugby, so they say the rugby's new league. And you're just assuming that's rugby league, but it's not. It's just They just think rugby as rugby union, and they don't even think about league. So they say rugby league as in a rugby league instead of rugby league, if that makes sense.
So it's a rugby league.
It's a rugby league, but it's not rugby league.
That's what's done me in, and that's a very
it happens to the best of us.
Easy mistake to make.
It happens to the best of us.
Anyway, hopefully that thing never gets started. I'd hate to see a Saudi rugby league.
I don't know if it would. I think it's dangerous. I do.
It's heavily dangerous because compared to the money that you make in Australia, these guys can throw out $1 million as a floor, really. Yeah. And who's not going to take that? Every player's going to take that.
Well, yeah, it does get dangerous. And look, I'm not going to compare the Big Bash to fucking the NRL because we're on different stratospheres here, but it could turn into that kind of situation. And that's what you don't want, where players are playing like 3-4 games for their Big Bash team, and then the IPL comes, and which is like during the middle of the Big Bash season, and they're like, I'm going to fuck off now to the IPL because it's got more money. That would be tragic, absolutely tragic. So yeah, it's a tough one. It is tough. You're going to keep the people that love playing rugby league, and that's why I think the expansion for rugby league into new markets is huge, because they need to pay these players more to keep them. Rugby isn't like a bottomless pit. So rugby has a cap on how much. It's not like the NBA where the Saudi league's going to offer them fucking 30 mil a year. It's like a mil more or like 500k more than they're on now. So if we can get new markets, get more revenue, get a big new TV deal, which they're talking about they went to America for Disney or whatever, Netflix, I don't know, for some streaming service to take it on. DAZN to take it on. If they can get that money and pay these players significantly more, double what they're on, I think it won't be a problem at all. Because I think they'd prefer to stay in Australia and play rugby. But yeah, we'll see.
We shall see, indeed.
We'll see.
Time. While we're on league, do you want to pivot to league? And
we can. I was look, Penrith need a fucking investigation. I mean,
Jeff Tuvey.
They nearly losing to the Titans is embarrassing, but the way that they won is even more embarrassing in my eyes. Nathan Cleary, obviously,
the way that they won
was more embarrassing.
Kicking one of the best field goals of all time
by cheating. It's not the same trainer, which means it's not the fucking trainer that's just going rogue here. No. It's Ivan Cleary in the press conference going, he's just an idiot. It's an honest mistake. He's an idiot. He didn't know what he was doing.
He's an idiot.
Are you that naive?
Yeah.
If this was another clock, if this was...
You think Ivan's going, oi, run through the kicker?
Yes.
No, he's not.
I
promise you he's not.
He is 100%. If this was the Parramatta Eels and their trainer was consistently, or if it was like a team if it's a Melbourne Storm and their trainer was consistently mucking up and getting in the middle of play, you would say Craig Bellamy was 100% behind this. You would. It is so blatantly obvious that Ivan Cleary's message to him is basically, get involved, mate. Get involved. And the trainer takes it from there.
You're the 14th man, mate. Get involved.
Get in the game. Get your head right.
Okay, but the thing is...
Stretch your hammies, you're running on in front of the kicker.
It's actually happened very few times. Maybe 3 times in 5 years. You know what I mean? It's just that it happens in moments...
It just happens to Penrith.
In moments
it just happens to Penrith.
That lead to game-winning situations.
The Parramatta one was a fucking crime against humanity, 1. 2, the wetting of the balls. You may say the Cowboys did it, but they did it because you did it.
No, they did it as well. All the players came out and said teams have done that for years.
You started
That was just the first time we got caught.
Yeah, first time
And it's fucking water on a ball. What's it going to do?
It's going to make it hard to... You saw yesterday, the Lions couldn't catch a fucking cold.
Have you felt those balls? They're so grippy. If you can't catch them, you're fucking unco.
No, but why would they wet them then? It's trying to gain a competitive advantage.
Just for fun.
For fun, shits and gigs. And then yesterday, that is so Sunday League, it's not even funny. The fact that the trainer... I don't know what I was doing. He runs in front of the kicker when he was about to hit a game-winning kick. They were tied. He's doing a kick to win the game, and he runs in front of him as he's running into it. It's not like he's running in front of him and he's like marking out the ball and he's looking down. He's running in front of him as he's stepping up to kick.
Well, he hadn't started his run up, but
he was starting.
he was in his stance. He was in his stance.
That is criminal.
Yes, but
you cannot say that.
He still had all the opportunity in the world to kick the goal. It wasn't like he put off his actual kick. I'm not saying
that he didn't, but that is in the NFL they have like an ice situation. So they sometimes ice the kicker. So like when the kick is just about to kick, they'll call a timeout so the kick doesn't count, and then so the kicker has to kick it again. Kind of deal. So they do that in the NFL, and it's legal there. But this is like icing the kicker. If you think that was an accident, do you genuinely think that he did it just for the first time in the game, randomly ran in front of the kicker when he was about to kick?
Look, it's a possibility. We don't know. We've never spoken to this man. We don't know what type of intelligence levels he has.
I think
It could be an honest mistake. That's a possible.
I think it's unbelievably naive of you. And I don't think you actually think that. I think you genuinely think there's something dodgy going on.
I will never say there's something dodgy.
Well, I know you'll
with
never
my
say it
club.
because you're a Penrith fan till you die. But that is probably the most criminal way I've ever seen someone in professional rugby league. That is as bad as it gets. Because players in the heat of the moment,
cheating the salary.
Players in the heat of the moment,
but
like can fake a penalty to try and get a competitive advantage.
yeah,
That's different.
I'd say milking's worse.
That's different though. That's a player playing the game, trying to get an edge over the ref. This is someone that's not playing the game, trying to influence the result and actively doing so.
Well, what can you say? I mean, he's obviously done well then.
He has no business.
The ref should have done something about it.
Well, yeah, exactly. The ref should have put the kick in right in front of goal. That's what he should have done, and then sent the ref to fucking the gulag. But then the fucking traded to the gulag. But you can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that.
Well, look, it's happened. And what happened after that was one of the most incredible finishes to a game we've ever seen.
The Titans are 2 points up. If they kick that, it's 4 points up, and then it takes a 2-point field goal out of it, which is Nathan Cleary's main thing, which is the only thing he can seem to do right now.
He can do a lot, mate.
Not at State of Origin level, he can't. We were talking about this yesterday. I'd rather have Luke Brooks in the team than... If Luke Brooks is playing well next year, I'd pick him over...
Well, he's not going to be playing well, is he?
Well, that's why I said if. It was a big if. It was a euphemism about how far Nathan Cleary has gone. Down my rankings.
He's just so clearly the best player in the comp, though.
Yeah, when he plays for Penrith and he puts on that stupid Panther, he's the best player in the world.
Maybe. Well, how about they try?
When he tries to represent people outside of
then?
Penrith with one tooth,
he's good for Australia. How about they try this then? You make him wear a Penrith jersey under the New South Wales one.
It's a great. I don't think it. That's a good option. Maybe it's like an all-star game for it. Maybe you just got to just wear the Penrith one. Just don't even, like, we know what...
That could be kind of cool. You know, like what they used to do in the NBA? They all wore their team jerseys.
Yeah. Maybe it's got to be that.
That could be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Maybe the next... Oh, I know, actually. When is the Panthers Stadium being redeveloped? When's it being done?
I think we've got another year in Combank.
Okay. So not next year.
No.
We're not picking for next year no matter what anyway. But if he's still playing well the year after, we play, instead of a core, we go to fucking Penrith. That's the option, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, it's going to be redeveloped, so there's an extra 5,000 seats there.
There you go. You can put 6,000 people in there now. Fantastic. Yeah, we can play in that shed. Will people be upset? 100%. But I don't care. We'll win.
Will they be upset when we get the shield?
No,
they won't.
Yeah, I think that's the only way that Nathan Cleary could be actually impactful. But
it's not much to do with the stadium, because look at his granny performances. You know, same stadium.
Well, I'm trying to think of ways to make him feel at home here. He's clearly thinks he's playing for the other team when he puts on that blue jersey. I'm trying to make him feel at home.
There's not enough Penrith teammates, so he's confused.
Maybe he's a Queenslander. Maybe it's a GI situation.
Queenslander.
Maybe it's a GI situation where he is clearly a New South Welshman, born and bred, but he just wants to play for Queensland, so he decided he wanted to play for Queensland, so he played for Queensland. Maybe it's that situation. Maybe even though he's grown up in New South Wales his whole life, he's actually a Queenslander, and he just, like, in his head is a Queenslander.
No, that's not the case.
I think it might be.
Not the case. You see how much he loves the state. You see the pain he felt after that game. Nobody is that honest about their performances other than Nathan Cleary. You never see anybody come out and say...
He's probably grinning when he was saying, oh, yeah, I was shit today, guys. Fuck. Well, I can't believe I put in another bad performance. It won't happen next year. Pick me next year. It won't happen again.
And it's all... I mean, look, it's Laurie Daly's fault. It's the team's fault. Not enough Penrith players. He needs the system around him. If you just pick Penrith's 1-17, we'd probably win the series.
Are you off your head?
No, I'm dead serious.
You should have lost to the Titans yesterday, and you think you can beat Queensland?
Well, we obviously took our foot off the gas. We're up 30-0.
You nearly lost to the Titans.
Titans just beat the Warriors.
We play that game. The Titans beat the Warriors beat fucking Dogs, the Dogs beat fucking Queens. Are we playing that fucking?
Well, I'm saying
reverse psychology?
1 week ago they beat a top 4 team, so they're obviously playing a bit better.
Horrendous, mate. Horrendous. Anyway, we got a bit sidetracked there, but yeah, I just wanted to harp on about that trainer and the fact that they've done it multiple times. Just clearly is, I mean, he's getting some, messages.
Look, yeah,
through the
I'm
comms.
sure the NRL will probably hand out a little slap on the wrist this week.
Yeah.
Naughty boy.
$5,000 fine that he'll definitely pay for. Definitely not coming out of the club. And yeah, you can't be the trainer for one match. Like, great. Fantastic. Yeah, I just can't wait to see what pops up next. It's always a different thing, which is what I find interesting.
But this
it's
is
not like they
thing.
do the same trick.
This is just Penrith haters. There's always some reason for them winning.
That is come on.
But like across the past 5 years, there's always something.
No, I'm saying that you've won all your premierships fairly because of your style of play and the players that you have, 100%. But that doesn't stop you from trying to cheat and get a competitive advantage over the other team.
Well, I mean, look at Melbourne.
What do you mean?
That's literally what they built their club off for the past 20 years.
That's different. They didn't cheat on the field. They cheated by paying the players a bit more than
they literally created the wrestle, which is essentially cheating.
It's not cheating.
It is.
It's literally, you're allowed to do it, so how is it cheating?
Because you're not meant to do it. They just started doing it, and now it became a part of the game.
How is that? What law was it like? You cannot wrestle someone to the ground.
Because it's holding down the player in the ruck.
No, but that's a grey area of the law. That's different than blatant. There is no grey area in the fact that you can't run in front of the kicker while he's about to take a kick to win the game. That's not a grey area, mate. That's pretty clear and obvious.
Well, yeah, maybe they should have put it in bold writing or something. It's probably not in one of the clearer parts of the rule book. You know what I mean? It's a big book these days.
It probably didn't even think about putting it in because it was that obvious that you don't need to put it in.
Well, if it's
like
not in
players need to breathe during the game. Players need to drink water.
If it's not in there, it's not an official rule.
Okay.
So.
Anyway, moving on from NRL. Did you want to segue into something different? NBA or?
We can do a bit of NBA. Obviously, the off season at the moment. I don't know when preseason starts. Probably in a month or two. But there's a free agency. I don't know what we last talked about, but a few moves, mostly by the Clippers and the Lakers. I feel like recently.
I think it's all wrapped up apart from Kuminga. I feel like
Kuminga. Yeah, well, yeah, he's declined the Warriors deal. I think.
Yeah, no, I think the Suns were offering him a shit ton more than the Warriors did.
Yeah, look. He seems like a bit of a scrub to me. I don't know if that's...
Well, yeah, it's a classic pay-on potential kind of guy.
He's like 25, so...
Yeah. That's the thing. People can't get opinions out of their heads. So these GMs that wanted to draft him when he was 19 and he was, look, what a great player. Now he's like 25 and they're like, I'm still in love with him when I saw him in the pre-draft process. So, yeah. And look, the Suns, I mean, who knows what the Suns are doing? They're in fucking cuckoo land. But... Yeah, essentially, Clippers signed a bunch of old geezers, which it's cool. It's big for my nostalgia.
It's a Lakers move, really is, but...
Oh, I think it's a bit different.
No, it's not different. This team is going to be absolutely shambolic.
Look, you won a title with. So
when?
With that strategy. When you signed a bunch of old geezers, you signed fucking J.R. Smith and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee.
Yeah, but what about 2 years later when we had Melo, Rondo, Dwight, LeBron...
Rondo was good for you. I don't know what you're harping on about Rondo.
Well, that team was shit. And we also had Steve Nash back in the day and, Gary Payton, I'm pretty sure we signed when he was really old. Karl Malone.
But those guys won titles.
Not with the Lakers.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Gary Payton won a title with the Lakers.
Did he? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Pretty sure he came the year after.
No,
okay, well, Karl Malone definitely didn't. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Chris Paul, Lob City's back. All you need to do is just... trade for DeAndre, bring Blake out of retirement.
No.
And the boys are back.
I actually don't think... Well, we don't need a center. Were you talking about Lakers or Clippers?
Clippers.
No, we don't need DeAndre. But you already got DeAndre. What are you talking about? The Lakers got DeAndre.
DeAndre Jordan, you muppet.
I thought you said DeAndre Ayton. I was confused a bit. No, I think... Yeah, look, I actually like the moves that we made. The the John Collins trade was a bit of a surprise when it happened. I was like, fuck, we're giving away Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell's probably a better player. But immediately after that trade was announced, the kind of noise out there was Bradley Beal was going to sign with us. So in that case, you're basically trading Norman Powell for Norman Powell and with baggage and John Collins. So I actually kind of like that trade. You get another, I think we needed another front court guy that could score, that could really work in the pick and roll. It was kind of a situation where we're relying on Derek Jones Jr. to be our third leading scorer, which not ideal. So yeah, I think it was a good move that. I like that move. Got Brook Lopez obviously in free agency. But again, I think when the Lakers were linked to him and wanted him as their starting center, I was like, I don't know if he's still got that in the tank, but if we're playing him as a backup, playing him 12, 13 minutes, I think it's good. Spaces the floor. And then we get Chris Paul, my favorite Clipper of all time, the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest point guards of all time.
You know, cop a jersey?
I was actually thinking about it. I might do. Yeah, just my favorite player. Just an unbelievable point guard in his day. And really had a longer prime than people expected him to. I think once he was traded away from the Clippers, I was like, he's probably got 1 or 2 years left. But really, he had an impact on many teams after. He was great on the Rockets. Then he was great on the Suns. Took them to the finals.
Great on the Thunder.
Great on the Thunder as well. And yeah, he's obviously a bit past it now. But I think as a nostalgia merchant, I think, why not? He's not going to start. He's going to be...
I think he will.
How is he going to start?
Harden at the 2.
Harden's the point guard. Harden is nowhere. Harden is not a 2.
Back to the Rocket days. Mate.
Harden is not a 2 anymore. There is zero chance Harden's a 2 anymore.
I think he will.
I think Bradley Beal's starting. It'll be Harden, Bradley Beal.
Like the thing is, Bradley Beal is pretty shit at this point. And you're not. Now that you've got him on the team, you're going to be all about him. But
no,
he's just not good anymore.
I think the problem was he was getting paid all this money. He had all this power in Phoenix, and he wanted the ball more. And it was never meant to work. It was just such a terrible trade because it was just like, let's add another all-star level player into our team and we're going to win the title. But did anyone think Devin Booker and Bradley Beal was ever going to work as a backcourt? Was that ever going to come to fruition? Bradley Beal as a point guard, has that ever worked? Has he ever averaged?
Well, I think it
assists?
was definitely had more promise than what the result was.
Well, yeah, people expected them to get to the playoffs, but I mean, still, when it went tits up, people weren't. I wasn't shocked personally. I mean, and I think this is a bit of a different one. He's got no power. He's on shit money. I think he's taking a backseat, and that's what you hope. And I think he's important for when, obviously, Kawhi has his injury issues. You're going to need a guy that can create his own shot. We had Norman Powell last year, who was great before Kawhi came back and was should have been picked for the All-Star game. And hopefully Bradley Beal can have that kind of impact. So, yeah, I don't hate it at all. I think I never have faith in the Clippers winning a title ever again, but I don't see anything wrong with it personally. I think it was a smart move to get John Collins as well, like I said. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of old geezers, but
I mean, a bunch of old geezers.
And people are putting the Clippers as contenders. I'm like, what are they doing? Yeah. And
wow.
Look, on paper, 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, we're fucking the All-Star team. I mean, Jesus. 5 years ago. Can you imagine this team 5 years ago? We'd probably break the all-time wins record. But yeah, right now, I don't have faith in them.
No, well, yeah, there's definitely going to be injuries.
I think the Nuggets are far and away the best team in the West.
Nuggets?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love what they did with Cam Johnson and Michael Porter Jr. I think that was such a great move. They brought Bruce Brown back. Obviously, the Thunder are a great team, but they really didn't have the Nuggets at their best. And that Nuggets team was really a shell of itself. Jokic was fantastic, but apart from Jokic, wasn't a lot.
But the Thunder is just, they're only going to get better from here. Realistically, they don't lose any players. They just get another year older, and they're all young, so that just means another year better.
No, I do get that, but I just think the Nuggets is probably the best. Look, the Thunder had their moments of dodginess in the playoffs, even though they won, obviously. But Yeah, I can't wait for the NBA season to kick off and all of our players to get injured within the first game. So that'll be great. So the Lakers DeAndre Ayton
signed DeAndre Ayton and recently signed Marcus Smart. Obviously, former Defensive Player of the Year.
Don't love the Marcus
great
Smart
player. I've always loved Marcus Smart. I've always said he's one of the better point guards in the league.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Marcus Smart. So couldn't be happier.
Right, you couldn't be happier.
We've got a lethal. I mean, Luka just this morning re-signed. That was
Did he?
Huge news. Yep.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yep. So that's big news for the franchise.
That is big. That's probably the best move that you made this offseason. Because I'm not too sure about DeAndre Ayton and fucking DeAndre Ayton and
look,
and
a starting lineup
in the year 2025.
Well, I mean, Ayton's he should be in his prime. He's only young. I mean, he's a bust as a number 1 overall pick. There's no doubt about that. But we only need him to average 10 and 10, 12 and 10, something like that. You know, with LeBron in the cut. Luka, hopefully, Luka's trimmed down as well. So
he did. He
is.
Yeah, no, he did.
He's trimmed. He's looking good. I've never seen this sort of commitment from him. So, if Luka actually reaches his potential, which he probably hasn't done, although he's been incredible, we could be just somehow in the mix because we have the best player in the league, which is...
People forget that he had like a 40-inch vert in his draft. In his, I don't know if he did the combine, but in his measurements for the... I don't know. But before the draft, he had like a 40-inch... 40-inch... He had a 40-inch shaft. Vertical shot. Vertical leap. Yeah, so he has hops, but he just was that fat that he just couldn't get off the ground. And I think people are harping on it's going to help his game a lot. I don't know. You see how impactfully and strong he was with that weight.
Yeah, but I want a bit of speed in there.
I think he needed to obviously slim down, but the way he's looking real slim. And I don't know. I think having that weight was really, it was basically his game. The way he could just bully people in the low post.
I think he's good enough to adapt to whatever. I think he was just doing that because he had to. Now he can actually create space, get off a jumper, maybe have a bit of a quicker release. Get to the cup, finish at the rim with authority. So,
wow.
And if he draws that attention, Ayton's going to be there for the lob. We got my boy Jackson Hayes coming off the bench. He's going to be throwing them things down.
I think he'll be good. I think the offense, I don't think will be as impact. I think he'd be more defensively. You'll see it
defensively. He can slide those feet.
Yeah, I think he was gassed. He had no energy to defend, and he just couldn't be bothered. And I think maybe this weight, he's always got the potential to defend. I think he's been when he switched on, he's a good defender. But yeah, I think this weight will probably help him with that more than anything.
Yeah, and the obviously the question mark, I guess, is LeBron's future. There's been a lot of talk about him being moved on this year, trade, whatever else.
Yeah.
I hope we keep him just because I feel like I love him and I want him on my team.
Yeah,
and he's my glorious king. So I want to see him win a ring for the Lakers. One more ring, right off into the sunset.
I think,
and he we're not going to get much for him at this point. Nobody's going to give a lot of assets for 1 year of LeBron at this 1 year of 41-year-old LeBron.
No, I agree. I think he's a bit overconfident that he's going to go to it. I don't know what he's thinking he'll go to. His whole Rich Paul's whole thing is we're going to go to a team that's a proper contender. What team is going to pay the amount of money that he's on, and be a contender? There's no team that you can go to the fucking Nets, but I mean apart from that, what team are you going to go to? You accepted the option. If you didn't accept it and signed for the Thunder for $2 million, yeah, you could theoretically have a better chance of winning. But for the amount of money that he's on, I think the Lakers are his best option. I don't know what he's seeing or. I think it's bizarre that he thinks that he can. Maybe he wants to get out of the West. Maybe I don't know. He wants to go to the Celtics or something. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking, but. Yeah, I think the Lakers have a real shot this year. It's tough again, really tough in the West. I think West, like I said, with the Nuggets, the Clippers obviously improved. There's teams, the teams coming out they improve every year.
Rockets,
they improved. I think these teams are improving every year. So, it seems like the East is getting worse every year. So maybe it's more
which is back to the scrap the conference system. I'm leading that train.
You are leading that train. But then again, Indiana wouldn't have maybe won the title last year if we scrapped that.
Yeah,
so.
that's my point.
Well, it would have been all time if they did. So I don't hate it. But yeah. Anyway, moving on from the NBA. Anything you want to touch on next?
What do we got? NFL I believe first week of preseason was this week.
Yeah, so kicked off Friday. Chargers won. Next Friday for us, Thursday for Americans. And then Monday for us, Sunday for Americans are the main games. So yeah, the preseason week 1. I think there's 4 weeks of preseason, and then it properly kicks off. Getting excited. Love the NFL. Excited. But yeah, it's just sort of in its warming up stage at the moment, and yeah, hopefully it can.
Are there any new contenders this year? Or just same old.
It's really hard to you obviously got the same old, but it's really hard to sort of see who's new. Like last year, the Commanders made the conference championships, but no one predicted they would even be in the playoffs at the start of the year. So you always have newcomers that you don't expect. Because it's such a short season, it's really who can get off to a good start. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough, and hopefully the Chargers are one of the teams that sort of rise and become a contender. But yeah, I still think the Eagles are by far and away the best team, and then the Chiefs have improved though. I think they made some moves on the offensive line. So yeah, I think it could be a bit more of the same, but you never know.
Right.
You never know.
Nice.
Nice.
I was going to say something else. What was I going to say? What are the Panthers doing? They got any good players?
Kind of. They're a lot better than people thought they were going to be last year. They've improved a bit,
didn't they?
Yeah, but the main thing is their young quarterback is okay. He was trending to be horrendous. And he looked good last year.
What's his name?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
So
big fan.
He was trending to clearly. He's actually shorter than you. He's like 5'11".
Shorter than me.
Yeah,
is that like an insult or something?
Well, it's an insult for an NFL quarterback. Most of them are like 6'3", 6'4". So
Really?
yeah, not many.
There's no way Pat Mahomes is 6'3".
Yeah, he's 6'3".
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he's very short, very skinny as well. So yeah, he's but he looked good. He looked good last year, and I think their main thing is they just want to develop. But when you've got a young quarterback, you just need him to be good. So especially when you draft him number 1. So their kind of view is let's just fucking hope he's good. We don't care if we fucking win how many games or we don't make the playoffs, but as long as he's trending in the right direction, I think that's their main sort of goal. But yeah,
right.
Not much to talk about the NFL. Just want to mention it's kicking off soon, so can't wait.
Exciting times.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Okay, we move on to our old mate, Mystic Mac.
Mystic Mac.
There's quite a bit to talk about with him recently.
Yeah. I don't think we should delve into sort of maybe the legal things. Obviously, civil case wasn't won by him. I think that's as much as we can say.
Which case?
The dodgy one. The sexual assault one.
When did that happen?
Yeah, not great. Well,
I was talking about his off-field antics.
Well, that's part of it. That's what I'm saying. That's part of it. Yeah, not looking great for it. It wasn't criminal, so he won't go to jail, but it's civil, so he has to pay money.
Oh, well, he'll be fine with that.
So yeah, he's still fighting the UFC. But yeah, his reputation not the best at the moment. Just looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, one of the all-time nudes ever sent, probably.
Oh, apparently, when I first saw him, I'm like, bro, why would he just be doing that randomly to like random celebrity? But apparently they'd been doing it since like 2017. Like they'd been and all of a sudden she just exposed it.
Yeah, and then at the same time he gets literally caught cheating on his wife in some beach
and then
somewhere.
She's still with him. I don't know. They must have some people must say like they cheat, but I don't know. At this point, it's got to be an arrangement, surely. Like you can't be like this out there.
Well, look, from her side of the story, it's it's got to be hard to leave that situation when you've got literally $1 billion, in your life.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I think that's why I say it's probably come to an agreement. Like, hey, I think he's probably broke. I think she probably said, hey, as long as it's sort of under the wraps, I'm okay, and not around the kids, I'm okay. But then it's like all over the news, so not really kept his word there. He's just sending nudes left, right, and center. So, yeah.
You see the MMA guru did like an impression.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, I have.
Don't come in, D.
Don't come in. Yeah. No, he's actually really good at doing that Conor McGregor accent. Love the MMA guru. All time Max Holloway, Ilya Taporia reaction. That was probably the greatest reaction I've ever. Did you watch that?
I'm sure I've seen it, but what did he do?
It was basically like pleading Taporia not to keep on beating up Max Holloway. It's like, stop it! Stop! It's like his dad watching him. Like, stop, you're hurting him. Stop, get off. No.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
But no, essentially, Conor McGregor back in the testing pool. See how long that lasts. I think he's just probably want to come down from a certain paraphernalia.
Yeah, well,
substance.
He would. Yeah, I mean, he's going to lose to anyone if he fights again.
I think he could beat Michael Chandler. I think he could. I'm on that train. I'm fully on that train.
Fine. Michael Chandler doesn't even count as like a functioning UFC fighter at this point.
But that's what the fight is. I don't know what you're expecting. Dana's not going to chuck him in against fucking Taporia.
He should. Feed him to the wolves.
That would be fun. Imagine if he was just like one, like an Aldo shot, like he just luckily clipped him.
Absolutely no chance.
And he knocked him out, and he's just a champ, and he has to go through that. We have to go through all that again.
Yeah. It's so sad his fall from grace. Though. I always get the McGregor era reels every now and then, and it's just like this guy was such a legend back in the day. Nothing we've ever seen, and probably nothing we'll ever see again. He was like the coolest thing.
He made the
since
UFC.
Sliced bread.
He made the UFC. The UFC would be still an obscure sport if it wasn't for. It would be like fucking. I don't know. It would be like. I don't even know what it'd be like. It was his own kind of niche, but it would still be so niche. Would it be on ESPN without Conor McGregor? I don't think so.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah. He's done a lot, and that's probably why Dana's giving him every opportunity known to man, because he's like, fuck, I owe this guy kind of the company. So, if he's doing whatever, as long as he's in the testing pool for 6 months, I'll chuck him in there with anyone.
But the testing pool thing is, I don't understand why it's 6 months, because they've the deal with USADA, USADA has ended. So
you're encouraging him just to go in there all.
Well, I'm pretty sure they control the drug testing regulations now, so they could just waive the 6 months if they wanted to.
So you're just chucking him in there.
Yeah,
I think that's a bit silly.
Well, you can test him, but you just don't need to wait 6 months.
Opening the door for John Jones to get back.
Oh well, I mean, I think that's why John Jones came back immediately. He was like, "Oh, USADA's gone. Get me back out here." But on John Jones, Tom Aspinall's fight has been announced against Cyril Gahn. Finally, kind of an anticlimactic fight. I mean, Cyril Gahn, what has he done to deserve another title shot? Absolutely fuck all. But
that's a problem with the heavyweight. That's why we were so crying out for the Jones Aspinall fight, because like, what else is there? I mean, just a bunch of the same guys that have lost to either Jones or Aspinall. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
clearly those two guys were the best in the heavyweight division, and like, we're just going to see these repeat of nobodies, and just the obscurity of the heavyweight division in the UFC has been gone for a while. So yeah, Cyril Gahn. I just hope.
But if Tom loses, oh my god, then John Jones will definitely come back.
Oh, 100%. Are you serious?
Oh my. Yeah, it just can't happen. For the fate of the world, everybody needs Tom Aspinall.
I don't think Dana would actually bring him back, though.
He would.
Not for Cyril Gahn. I think he'd 100% bring him back for Aspinall. But if John Jones came to him after Gahn would win and went, hey, can I...
He would give him the fight.
I don't think he would give him the fight. I don't actually think he'd give him the fight. Because
he would.
If John Jones won and he'd want him to fight Aspinall, and I think he'd just duck and retire again.
Well,
Then he's not going to do that for like a kind of a big pay-per-view. Like, just a semi-big pay-per-view.
He would. Dana's a whore for that shit.
I don't think he is. I think he's been that fucked over by John Jones. He's like, unless you're fighting Aspinall, I don't give a fuck. You are not coming back.
Yeah, but look, maybe at the moment he said he wouldn't trust him with the White House. Maybe at the moment because he's obviously pissed off that Jones fucked him over that he wouldn't do it. But time heals all wounds, and I think a year from now he'd be like, John Jones, get your ass in here.
Depends.
There's more glazing to do.
No, I think it depends on how many stars he can get on the UFC White House. If it's
not
looking
many.
like a...
He's relying on John Jones and Conor McGregor, two blokes that haven't fought in 10 years.
So if it turns out like it's like a Sphere situation where you've got about absolute nobodies rocking up, then maybe he'd go, okay, John, you can fight. But like, if he's got like a Taporia in there, if he's got a I don't know, if he's got an Aspinall in there, if he's still the champ or whatever, unless it is an Aspinall Jones, I don't think he brings him. If he's got a Holloway in there, if he's got, I don't know, whoever, if he's got some big names in there, I just don't think Jones is going to be even considered.
Yeah, but like he'd want it to be the biggest card.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He'd want as many names as he can get. I still, I'm very skeptical about it actually happening. I don't understand how it's just logistically going to happen in the White House.
Oh, I don't know. I think it could definitely happen.
Where do the crowd go?
On the lawn, bro.
On the lawn.
On the lawn in front of the White House. You know how they can fucking build stands in a week. Trust me, they can get...
And it's just outside.
Yeah.
What if it rains?
That's so cool. That's even cooler.
Yeah, but they're not going to fight in the rain.
Why not?
Because.
That's sick. They can just fucking punch each other.
But, like, they would never do that. That's why they never do stadium shows.
Yeah, but this is different. I reckon fighting in the rain when it's pissing down and just slugging at each other.
It wouldn't be... that would just be a reason for, why someone lost.
But it's the White House. I don't care. That's what I'm saying.
Slipped in the rain, cops an uppercut.
That's cool. That's cool. That's kind of the whole theatric of it. They want theatrics for it. I think they'd hope for sun, obviously, but and they'd probably plan it on a day where they've got they can look at the weather and go, okay, it's going to be, sunny it's going to be like sunny for 4 days straight on this stretch, So
wow.
They'll probably do it in summer or like spring. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's UFC wrapped up. Anything else you want to?
Anything else? F1.
Yeah, a bit surprising this morning. Did you see the qualifying?
No, I actually didn't see it.
So Leclerc won.
Really?
Yeah.
And I saw Lewis got knocked out.
Lewis got knocked out. Yeah, and so McLaren was 2-3. Someone was 4. Don't know. It might have been Russell 4, and then, or it might have. But I know the Aston Martins were 5-6 or 4-5. So Stroll was top 5 or something.
Jesus.
Alonso was there. Verstappen came in 8th, so not great for him. Tsunoda got knocked out by Liam Lawson in Q1 again, as you do.
Okay. Here we go.
So yeah, it was a bit of a surprising one this morning. Oh, I think they mentioned they made changes to the cars. It was kind of mid-season tweakering.
Verstappen 8th is not ideal. Bortoletto 7th.
Yeah, Bortoletto came up. But yeah, was it 5-6 Aston Martin?
5-6, yeah.
Which is an absolute world of difference. I mean, they were lucky to get out of Q1 the past, since the start of the season, really. So yeah, it's been a bit of a shock, that one. I think that was my main sort of take. Alonso was nearly getting pole. I mean, it was criminal.
But what? So something must have happened with the McLarens, because they did times that were 0.5 faster in Q2 than Q3.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just went slower in Q3.
Yeah, obviously.
So yeah, I think, but yeah, McLaren's are clearly the faster car, or the fastest car still. But I think the shock of Aston Martin and Ferrari, at least, was a bit up there, and Verstappen obviously going down. I don't know what's happening at Red Bull. I mean, geez, Adrian Newey left now, and Christian Horner got sacked. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what it's going to turn into. It might be I don't know. I don't even know. It might be will they be around like mid-table for a long time? I mean,
I think they've got too much money to be a mid-table team.
Well, Verstappen recommitted.
Did he?
He said that he was staying for next year.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the car is obviously diabolical. I mean, the second driver has been unable to get out of Q3 essentially for 2 years straight. So
maybe we were too harsh on Perez. Maybe
Obviously.
Perez was actually a god of a driver.
Maybe.
If he was in a Mercedes the whole time, maybe he would have won.
I doubt that, but he
Perez,
probably would be.
Perez got like a ton of podiums in that car.
Well, I think it progressively got worse.
No, I agree, but still, he did okay with a car completely suited to Verstappen.
Yeah, I still look. He's probably a decent, like a good driver. He's probably a 10th to 12th on the grid sort of driver.
Yeah, well, Tsunoda was doing well in the fucking
Tsunoda was doing well.
Not the Alpine, sorry.
There's obviously issues with it. You can't have a team with only one car. You're not set up for success in that way. So they're in trouble. They obviously need to work something out. I don't know if they appointed someone to replace Christian Horner.
I don't know.
Or they just going with an interim sort of bloke.
Probably.
So they've obviously got to sort that out. It was a bit of a weird one because Christian Horner's obviously been in the team for a very long time and has had amazing success. He's won, eight driving world championships, I think, at this point. So,
well, the timing is the weird thing for me. Like, if you're going to sack him, you sack him after fucking hooking up with whoever he was hooking up with, the engineer or something. Like, you sack him after that. Don't sack him, like, once you've forgiven him for that, and then 3 months later, you're doing okay instead of winning, and they're like, bin you off, mate.
I think it was something to do with, like, the head office wanting to take more control of the commercial side of the business or something around that, and Christian Horner wanted to keep control of it. And so they said, nah, see you later, mate. So,
but he's clear, like, dodgy bloke, clearly one of, if not the best team principal out there. Why are you sacking him? If you're sacking him for his conduct, okay, 100%, get behind it. But if you're sacking him for his performance / his control of the team, then what are we doing it? That's his best part. I don't know. It's like...
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, this year's obviously been not great. They've definitely gone backwards. Verstappen is driving the absolute brakes off the car just to keep it somewhat competitive up the front of the grid. But yeah, McLaren have obviously, they've got the constructors wrapped up at this point. They've easily got the most dominant car. At the start of the year, it looked like it was going to be a bit more competitive, potentially a 3, 4, 5-way battle for the Drivers' Championship, but it's turned into just Oscar versus Lando at this stage. Oscar, I'd say he's, without being overconfident, I'd say he's definitely odds on to win it.
Oh, 100%. He looks better. And that's not us being biased, but I think Lando, can have an unreal performance, but consistency, Oscar is up there. And he's really only lost out on points because of, like, something bad happening. Like a crowd, like something's bad, like out of his control has happened. In terms of performance, he hasn't had a stinky one. He's always been performing at the best. So... yeah, and he just looks far. He just looks like a better driver. But again, Lando does have his days where he's unbeatable. But I don't know. I think the consistency of him is just...
it's kind of funny because I'm not a Lando fan, but Lando was the most hyped driver, and when he was at McLaren with other teammates before Oscar got there, he was seen as like the best driver on the grid, basically just in a shit car. And as soon as he got a good car, it was kind of a foregone conclusion that he would just win the title. And now that he's got there, he's kind of getting it handed to him by a new guy.
Well, Oscar was he was clearly, like when he was coming out, clearly
he was obviously high. Yeah, he was.
What? Like he had a whole bidding war. Like Alpine just like tried to secure him, and he's like, no, fuck that.
Oscar was highly touted for sure, but Lando was proven in a sense in F1 and was seen as like the best prospect on the grid.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a bit of a mix of situations though. I think that's more like McLaren, he didn't really have an elite teammate with him, so he looked a lot better when he was younger. And also, he does have these unbelievable performances, so he can, like, he probably on his day is the best driver on the grid. Even better than Verstappen, some would say. So I think that's probably what, when you're that young, you don't look at consistency, you look at talent. And clearly his talent is one of, if not the best. So I can see why people would say that. But yeah, you're looking at Piastri and he's just got the consistency. He's a bit more boring as well in terms of...
He's a bit
of a quiet-mannered guy.
And I've been slow to warm to Piastri, I'll be the first to say. But
because you usurped Danny Rick, which was obviously the wrong decision. I mean, can you believe McLaren did that?
Shocking decision. I mean, to think Danny Rick wouldn't win in this
Danny Rick
car,
would have won. Yeah, Danny Rick would be better than Oscar Piastri right now.
I'd say so, comfortably. He'd definitely be better than Tsunoda. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But what was I saying?
I don't know.
I completely forgot what I was saying.
Well, anyway. I just want to cap off a bit of Man United news. Pre-season went well so far, which is looking good. Making some moves, we're looking at a Sesko.
A Sesko Fabregas?
No, unfortunately not. Striker, big guy, Slovenian.
His last name Sesko?
Yeah.
Okay.
Benjamin Sesko.
Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah. Striker from Leipzig. It's between us and Newcastle. And it's just up to the player where he decides. Look, he's kind of like, some of the goals he scores are crazy.
Is he like a bit of an Ibra sort of frame?
Yes, he's very much like, I would say he's basically an Ibra regen.
Right.
But Ibra is like he looks like he's big, can score these crazy goals. Doesn't have the consistency of Ibra though. And he can put up a stinker here or there, and he's not the best passer, which Ibra wasn't either, but I think he's great in the air. He's got his shot is so powerful. Probably the most powerful I've ever seen someone shoot.
Right.
Like, crazy. Like, better than Haaland. He's just a bit raw. And we have
that's not a good recipe for Man United.
No, not at all. And my main thing is we've bought German players, and German players, or the Bundesliga players, have not really succeeded in the Prem, just because, the Timo Werner thing is this thing that scares me. It's like the German league is a lot slower than the Prem, and a lot less physical. So, like, his talents, and clearly, no matter where he'd play, he'd be elite, both sort of technically, physically, and speed wise. But it might just seem like a bigger advantage in the German league in comparison to the Prem, if that makes sense. So the stuff that he relies on might not work in the Prem. That's my only sort of hiccup with him. But yeah, no, he looks good. So
okay. So what happened? What happened with Xerxes and Højlund?
Well, they're still there, but they're not good, are they? So
so they just sacked off.
Well, look, I would sign a midfielder before I sign a striker, or a goalkeeper before I sign a striker. But I do think we need a better striker. Look, they're both young, Højlund and Xerxes, so it's a bit of a weird one signing a young guy. But look, I think it's more like we need clinicalness. We weren't clinical at all, no matter who. I thought Xerxes played some unbelievable football, but he wasn't that clinical. And he's a different profile. I think he's similar to Højlund, but Højlund's just was like Lukaku, but worse last year. He's actually looked good in pre-season. But it's pre-season, so you can't read too much into it. But they're playing good opposition. Like, it's like a Premier League pre-season. Like, they're playing Premier League teams. It's like a Premier League tournament, pre-season tournament. It's kind of like a lot of intensity. So, Højlund's looked okay.
They won a couple of games in there.
Yeah, we won 4-1 last against, who did we beat? Bournemouth. Who were a solid team last year. Lost a few players, but... yeah, we looked far and away the best team. So we're winning the title. That's what I'm saying. No, look, look. Hopefully we do get Sesko. I think we need a bit of talent. He's just unbelievably talented, and it's just if we can make him into Ibra, then that'd be ideal. That would be ideal. And Yeah, that's the main thing. I think his ability in the air as well. Xerxes, hopeless in the air, even though he's 6'2". And Hoyland, he's okay, but he's not great in the air. Sesko is big and he's good in the air. So
I like his name, Sesko. So
yeah. So
sounds like an Italian
but he's
obviously
stallion.
not Italian.
But no, yeah. Hopefully we do get him, and yeah, Prem's nearly started.
I know.
We got to get you in.
Feels like it just finished, but
it does. Yeah, it does come around quick. We got to get you in a fantasy Premier League. I was thinking about it with my mate, other mate. Sorry, I have other friends. Sucks.
fuck.
But no, we'll get a fantasy league going as well. It'll be a draft. So fantasy Prem, biggest gripe with it is essentially it's so everyone is the same team by week 5 because you just see who's playing well and you can transfer in the same players. Everyone's playing the same players. If you have like an auction system or a draft where you can only have every person as one of a player, I think that's a good strategy and it would work well. So,
have you got the system set up for that?
Well, there is a system for it, but it's just not the most common way of doing it.
Right.
It's on the Premier League app and stuff. So, yeah, hopefully we get involved in that and get that going. And look, again, I lose interest in the Prem when it's hard to. Sorry, it's hard to watch the Prem when we live in Australia when your team sucks because it's like
very hard.
Am I going to stay up to 12 o'clock watch Liverpool? Bournemouth.
Cardiff?
Yeah.
Cardiff in the Prem?
No. Liverpool, Bournemouth. Am I going to watch Liverpool, Bournemouth at 12 o'clock at night? I could.
Who's going to do it? No, only Liverpool fans or Bournemouth fans would do that.
But no, I would, if it was on a Saturday night, and I was coming home from the pub, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I might actually stay up and watch that. But I might just be like, oh, I can't be bothered. I'm not going to, United is shit. I'm not watching football right now. I can't be bothered. But yeah, Man United play not next Monday, I think the Monday after.
Their first game?
Against Arsenal.
Oh.
I believe, the
Big game.
Monday after that, sorry. They play Arsenal, 1:30 in the morning. Try to get a day off, couldn't. So, fuck.
Do Arsenal have any big signings?
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres,
yeah. Came from Sporting. Ruben Amorim's former player.
Right.
It's kind of similar to Sesko, a bit older. He had a lot of goals in Portugal.
I saw people hating on that, though.
It's tough because Portugal, the way the system is, it's kind of like the top teams are good, but the rest of them are that dog shit that it's crazy. So he's played well in the Champions League. He's played well against the top teams. He scored a ton of. He scored basically a goal a game for Sporting, but it's tough to gauge. It's really it's kind of like the Sesko, thing. Sesko scored a lot of goals in Bundesliga, but is he going to do well transferring over to the Prem? You never know. But yeah, he looks good. He's a big signing, big name.
Who's the? So he's a striker.
Yeah, and Arsenal needed it. So
what happened to Jesus?
One, he's injured a lot. 2, he's not prolific, and he's not good enough in front of goal. So yeah, he's not long term. I think he's a good baller, but he's and he's a good squad player to have, but he's just not. He's not
that guy.
Well, they played Havertz striker for most of the season last year, and I think Gyökeres is kind of like Lukaku, a lot faster and a lot better on the transition, but terrible first touch. Right. So I don't know. I think it's he's not going to help them play football. Havertz is a much better technical player, so it's a bit different. So he might be adding stuff, but also taking away what they had with Havertz, if that makes sense. So,
but Havertz he's a 10, isn't he?
Well, he played striker last year, and so I think it's going to be weird. I'm interested. I'm more intrigued than anything to see if it how they play. Because if Arteta fails this year,
it's got to be done.
It's got to be done. It's got to be. Surely the last straw.
All these, I just keep seeing all these videos of every team that's won a trophy in the past 5 years, and there's United, all these teams that are way Tottenham, worse than Arsenal.
Yeah,
but Arsenal haven't won a single trophy.
No. And look, they played well in the Champo last year. I think they were a bit unlucky. They beat Real Madrid in knockout stages. I mean, that's not nothing. So I do think they are progressing, but it almost gets to a point where it's all right, like you can't have 6 years of progressing. Like you've got to have something to show for it, not just like an FA Cup, like a real Prem or Champo. Otherwise, it just comes to the point where, look, you've done great, Arteta, with the team and building them up from where they were, but you're clearly not the guy to win things. And that's what you got to do.
You need to get Ange in if you want to do that.
Yeah, got to get a big engine. So yeah, they probably, if he doesn't win anything this year, he's got to go.
He's got to go, blood.
I wouldn't want to see him go because I think you want to keep him in there if he's got a history of not being able to win big things. But that's the thing with the Prem. It's a 38-game season, so it's basically the best team over the season wins. They've just been unlucky that they've been in this stretch where Liverpool and Man City was that dominant. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, do you have anything cap us off?
I think that's it.
That wraps us up. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. A bit of a chat. Hopefully, sport really starts to kick in. It's really going to start to kick in, mate. Oh, it's
really kicking in.
The off season is coming to an end, my friend.
Well, there's always off seasons and on seasons,
Yeah,
depending on what sport you follow. So
that is true. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Adios.
Peace out.